you imagine a time when everything was going according to the plan? Things were going great, but suddenly the wrath of all gods came down on you, knocked you down, and showed no hope of revival. What do you do then? Do you quit? Or do you say, if Prithvi Narayan Sahar needed 3 times to conquer Kirtipur, what will one downfall bring on you? We had a similar situation, and we really appreciate this opportunity that you have given us to express ourselves. Good afternoon, teachers. We are Chomolungma Airlines, and we'll talk about our company in today's presentation. Firstly, we'll talk about our team. Then I will talk about our company's vision, mission, and direction, our industry analysis of capabilities, performance results, diagnosis of performance, and we'll talk about one of the most critical, one of the good critical incident factor, and we will foresee our future plan and conclude the presentation. Our team. I'm Samdan Khania, and here now is Sanjay to talk about our company's vision and mission.
Hello, good afternoon everyone. I'm going to talk about company vision, mission and direction. Our company mission is to become the leading luxurious airline company and dominate the market by providing safe, market-driven and customer-focused services. To achieve that, we set our vision to have high quality and reliability with high market shares, tackling almost every special incidents, providing wide level of services. As an international student of business, we should be aware about the surrounding we operate in. So, the only differences that separate us from the animals is our social obligation and moral. So, we not only focus on satisfying our stakeholders, but also to areas such as politics, environment, and society, and aviation mechanics. So we spent around 72,000 in only headquarters to such areas. Now I would like to call Sansar to explain about industrial analysis.
Thank you, Sanjay. Good afternoon, teachers. I would like to talk about the industry analysis. In 1979, Proctor introduced his 5 forces of model of competition. This helps in analyzing the level of competition in an industry. The five points are threat of new entrants, bargaining power of buyers, bargaining power of suppliers, and threat of substitute products or services. The first one, bargaining power of buyers. Since the cost and effort required to switching is minimum and the opportunity cost for consumers to switch is non-existent, it is very difficult to track the consumer loyalty. That's why this is a very high risk factor. The second is threat of new entrants. Due to deregulations and no entry to barriers, even companies with low initial investment can introduce new aircrafts into in next quarter. Like for example, we have 4 planes that we leased, so just lease it. And this is also a very highly important factor. The third is bargaining power of suppliers. Now the only suppliers in our simulation were the fuel contractors, and they did not have much impact. So this is a low-key factor. And the fourth one is threat of substitute products and services. For aircrafts, they are very fast, right? So, the only way you can, the other alternatives might be cars, buses and boats, which are not as much fast. And if you have time, then only you switch. Otherwise, your only alternative are aircrafts. So this is a moderate level of risk. And the rivalry among existing competitors are mainly focused on fares, routes, advertising and promotions. Now, in fares, you can see that our group G, in 5th quarter, after our downfall, we decrease our prices to 0.48. While you can see that our other competitors like D in the luxury department, they have continually increased their prices to extend such as 0.51. So I think we have a good pricing advantage. And the other one is the initial route coverage. You can see that the initial route coverage are in proper balance. And at the end, in the 8th quarter, we can see that everyone is jumping into every other competitor's routes, but our group there are focusing on our roots and also a little bit extending our arms into other routes. Now, this is the promotion and advertising budget. Here you can see that until quarter fourth, we have one of the industry high investment in promotion and advertising. Now, the reason that we had a downfall in the promotion was that we received the slides from UWE suggesting that we should ratio-wise, distribute our promotion and advertising. So we spent our advertising budget and decreased our promotions, and there you can see a correlation there. And still, we are above the industry average in both promotion and advertising. Now, I would like to call Samidhan to analyze the capabilities.
Thank you, Sansar. In analysis of our capabilities, I would like to talk about Porter's generic strategies. We follow different strategies throughout our headquarters, and which we derived from our company's internal capabilities. And using Porter's generic strategies, we can place our company in cost reduction strategy, as we were the low cost provider and serving the whole industry. So how actually we managed to implement those strategies is all because of the resources, that is what we have, and because of the competencies, that is what we do well. Moreover, Barney's green framework for competitive advantage can be helpful in outlining our capabilities, where V stands for valuable, I inimitable, R rare, and N non-substitutable. VRIN framework shows our resources and capabilities that are valuable, rare, inimitability, and non-substitutability. Under valuable, we have customers' bill of rights and in-flight magazine. Likewise, low-cost strategy is our rare resource, and inimitability resources are low fare, reliability from frequent daily flights. And finally, under non-substitutability resources, we have highly trained employees and company culture. Apart from these, we also have some unique capabilities for our company. We were one of the lowest cost carrier in our industry, and also with the highest end with the competing quality and reliability factors. These qualities and capabilities were derived because from the skills that ranges from SR to operations. The first reason is that we are able to decrease our turnover ratio by focusing more on quality and training budget. This graph shows the amount that we invested in quality and training budget, which is in the increasing manner. And at the end of the quarter, we invested 36,000 in quality and training budget. As a result, our employee turnover decreased significantly. At the initial quarter, that is quarter 0, in which we have provided the company, the employee turnover was 9.9%, but we significantly decreased it to 3.1% at the end of quarter 8. The second reason is that we leased or owned the same type of aircraft for lower maintenance cost. That helped us to focus on the cost reduction strategy. These are the two types of airplane that we acquired under our whole simulation game. The first one is Embraer Brasilia, which we hold, which is of three types, and British Air. There was 4 British Aero that we hold at the end of our quarter. Likewise, the last reason is capable of increasing passenger load factor by switching on high seater plane, by switching on low seater plane from the high seater plane. That is British Aero. The strategy of switching high seater plane to low. The strategy of switching from high seater plane to low seater plane helped us to increase the passenger load factor. Though we had some experiences of downfall in 5th quarter due to the sudden switch of the planes, we were able to increase our passenger load factor significantly, even as compared to the passenger load factor up to quarter 8, which you can clearly see from the graph. Next. Now I'd like to call Sanjay to talk about our performance results.
We promptly followed the SMART goals and objectives to formulate our business plan. In quarter 1, we were asked to make a balance scorecard, and in the strategic plan, where we targeted to lower our employee turnover rate in the internal part. As you can see, in initial phase of quarter 0, there was 9.9% of employee turnover, and we managed to keep it to 3.1% at the end of the quarter. Secondly, in financial part, we target to increase our net profit. We were able to meet the target in all of the quarters except for quarter 5, which was huge downfall for us, which will be later discussed by Sansar. And our cumulative net profit was 650,000 in total. In addition, in customer part, we target to have reliability above 99% and quality above 90%. Although we didn't exactly get what we target, but we were in the figure. We were around in the figure. At last, at the learning and growth part, we target to enter 16 routes in the markets, and we were able to enter in all the 16 routes at the end of the quarter 8. This slide shows the weighted score, where we were ranked as top 3 in top 3 positions in almost all of the quarters except for quarter 0 and quarter 5, and ranked as number 1 position in 3 of the quarters. According to industry average, it's better to have current ratio of 2, which was the area of concern for us, as we were in the favorable area except for quarter 5, where we experienced the huge downfall. The yield per available seat mile until quarter 4 was around the company average, but we switched to high seat carrier, where we were able to have the highest stock price of 48.07 in quarter 7, and at the end of the quarter we were able to get 43.16 at the quarter 8. Now I'd like to call Sansar for diagnosis of performance.
Thank you, Sanjay. I will talk about the diagnosis of a major problem. Like we mentioned earlier about our 5th quarter and our downfall. Now there are 3 major reasons for our downfalls. The first one is our 3 major reasons for downfall is that we disposed of our high-seater airplanes, bigger jets, with smaller seaters, aero, and we reduced our cabin food services from $5 to $2, and we removed all the fare sales from our routes. Now, why did we actually do good after the 5th quarter? Now, we had this special incident where we had to make decision if we wanted to dual designate, which meant that we had to merge with another bigger airline that simulation provided us, and we decided to take it. And another one was the increased passenger load factor because of our low-seater planes. Now, the thing about increased passenger load factor is that at page number 69 in our model handbook, it is clearly mentioned that it is vital you pay attention to passenger load factor if you want to generate more revenue from each of your aircrafts. And that is what we did. We disposed of our bigger Embraers, which had 187 seats, with British Aeros, which gave us 162 seats. And passenger load factor would directly correlate with net profit, which would impact our stock prices, our AOE and AOA, and quality and reliability. Now, strategy implementation by Mintberg, in 1985, what they did was that you have 2 types of strategy. One is deliberate and one is realized. Our deliberate strategy was to, until quarter 5, was to maintain our current flow of operations. But after quarter 5, we had to make certain drastic changes, and this is what we realized. I would like to call Samvidhan to diagnose of our one critical incident.
Thank you, Sanjay. Fortunately, at the time of the huge downfall in quarter 8, we were given a life-saving critical incident awaiting for us, in which one of the major company offered us the opportunity to dual designate. This would have a higher probability for us to generate more profits in our existing markets, and whereas we would have to experience a reduction in our autonomy, as we have to work together now. If we accept the offer, then we would have the advantage on both our departure and incoming flights, which we are not having currently. our Vice President of Marketing was in favor of the critical incident, whereas the President and Director of Planning was a bit doubtful of the situation. If we accepted the offer, then there was several costs associated. If we accept the incident, then we would have to repaint our fleet which will cost 30,000 per aircraft. We would have to do some route alteration, and we would have to rename our airline name. Incident, we had some arguments and discussion in our team as well. For example, me and Sansa was in favor of the decision, whereas Sanjay was opposing the decision that we should not do this, we should not let our autonomy go and erode away. Therefore, for some moment we were having some discussion, but ultimately we came to a common ground and decided to accept the offer. It was best suited for us at that time, which can be clearly shown from the documents performance of Team COV. Now I would like to talk about our future plans, that is especially for the next 4 quarters. In our future plan, we plan to extend the routes, especially in market F and R. Similarly, we plan to increase the fleets accordingly and pull out from the cargo business. Our cargo business is not doing good currently, so we have 2 options: whether to pull out from the cargo business, or we plan to increase the marketing fund so that we might get some output from that as well. Similarly, we will also increase the dividend in each of the quarters and compensate employees with more attractive packages and increase the funding for CSR as well. During the 10 weeks of this airline simulation, we had several learning experiences. For example, we had change and stress management, idea about change and stress management, cash management, corporate strategy formulation and implementation, marketing strategy, financial analysis, teamwork, and ethical decision. Thank you for listening.